I just was posting products,
Yeah.
posting the opportunity. I was just on fire.
Just excited.
Just excited.
And look,
yeah.
be willing to be messy.
Yeah.
Be willing to get out there.
I just did it.
Figure it out as you go.
Yeah.
But in the last couple years, I've noticed an intentional shift. And that intentional shift in you was to take your brand a little bit more seriously. What are some of the things that you did branding-wise that made the biggest difference?
Yeah, it's just the mindset shift with it. I mean, I really, really believe that marketing yourself is a part of your business, and so I treat social media like a job. It's a branch of my current network marketing business. And so what I did is just really think about what's the value that I'm going to add. So everything I do is with intention now, right? Like I may sprinkle in some random stuff throughout the day, but I know, okay, I'm going to add value to my audience. Who is my audience? Who's the girl that I'm talking to?
But there's a look, right?
There's a look.
There's a look, there's an intention, there's language that's kind of consistent. You're kind of becoming known.
Yeah.
You came up with the It's Emily thing.
Yeah, because I get on Facebook Live all the time. I'm like, it's Emily.
Yeah, it's Emily.
Yeah.
And off you would go.
Yeah. So I just really looked at it and I took a piece of paper and I'm like, what am I passionate about?
Right.
You know, what message do I want to bring to the world? What am I about?
Yeah.
And I brain dumped all of it down the line and I'm like, okay, this is my message. That I need to craft videos around this, imagery around this, and you know, I'm really in love with it. And that's one of the key things. I think a lot of people get involved and they try to be Alex Morton. They try to be Amber, right? They try to be everybody else, and then it doesn't feel right. So for a while, when I was trying to, you know, I was growing up into a woman in this profession, I was trying to do all these other things. I'm like, this doesn't feel right.
Right.
So once I did the actual brain dump, it felt right.
So your standards got solid.
Yes.
Your energy got aligned.
It's fun.
The appearance became part of that whole thing, and it expressed itself in all the brands.
Yeah.
What was the biggest difference when it came to recruiting and growth in your business when you were intentional about your brand?
I started to attract a way higher caliber person.
Yeah.
Because I was showing up differently.
Right.
Right? And so people that came into my business, into my life, were just next level. Because I was showing up next level.
And did your team respond at a higher level?
Yes.
When you did?
Yeah. Now they're all showing up. Some of them are better at social media than me, which is exactly what I want.
Right. All right. Let me go to Stormy, because Stormy Wellington was going to be here, but she's literally in the middle of filming it's Lifetime, yeah? Is that right? A Lifetime. Oh, sorry. I'm not supposed to say?
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry. Forget you just heard that, but she's filming a television show that's going to be coming out this next year, and they're in the middle of it, so she wasn't able to be here last minute, but she's connected. Stormy, how you doing?
You know what? I am doing really amazing. I'm sorry that I can't be there, but everything that's happening right now that's obstructing me from being there is going to change the world in the future. So I'm really excited about it.
So talk to us about how important is brand? How important is that as you're growing your business?
Can I tell you, your brand is everything. People buy you before they buy the business. And that's why I tell people, my whole philosophy is to build the people will build the business. And what I find with a lot of people is that they try to emulate somebody else's brand when people love authenticity. And so I believe that not only should you build a brand, but you should build an authentic brand that's who you really are authentically.
Yeah, so what I've noticed with you, and it's been really interesting, I've noticed it with all of you, on different levels, different styles. Ashton's style's very quiet. I would say person to person, he's kind of how would I describe it? My brain's leaving my body. But cerebral, intelligent, strategic, big heart. That's what I think about when I think about Ashton. Stormy's bigger than life, bold, no excuses, no apologies. Big vision, but it's not only in how she's showing up. Her standards are clear in what she does on a daily basis with people around the world and her team. Her energy is very obvious and positive. look is intentional. And then even how it's exhibited, I saw some things that I found really interesting. Like, she's got different slogans inside of her team. She's got some stuff for the guys. She's got some stuff for the girls that empower them, that fill them up. She's got logos for everything. She's got people following, around with videos and photographers and all that stuff. When did you decide that you were going to step it up, Stormy?
To be honest with you, I made that decision about 4 years ago. I found myself really not happy with the illusion of a character that I was showing up as because I wanted to fit inside of the mold of what network marketers look like. And I realized that I started to attract a lot of those people. And about 5 years ago, I said, what about the people that look like Stormy? What about the people that don't have a high school education or dropped out of school? What about the teenage moms? What about the ex-strippers and the scammers? And what about that little black girl or that little Latina that thinks that they can't be anything because they were told that they couldn't amount to anything? And so I decided that stop trying to dress like them. Stop trying to be the avatar of an ideal network marketer and be you. Flawed. I don't try to be perfect. I love to share the world of my testimony of the things I've overcome. And I find that the truth is, it's like to thy own stuff be true. I realized that the more I was true to me, the more I started to attract authentic energy. For me, everything is energy. I made a decision. I would not compromise my peace, my happiness for network marketing or for commission. And so when I decided to step into my authenticity, I started to me, develop a whole new world of network marketers. I have a lot of people in my organization that are uncommon millionaires. You would never expect some of the people like a Natalie Nicole sitting there to have made, $6 million in 2 years. But if I didn't show up as Stormy, the girl who used to be in bottle service would not see that if Stormy can do it, I can do it. So I like to show people my flaws. I like to tell people where I come from because I get to inspire those that feel as if we're the least, the last, and the lost. Now you say, if Stormy Wellington can do it, I can do it too. And that is my mold. That's how I want to show up. I tell myself that, Stormy, never lose your authentic self. Don't forget the humble beginnings of where you came from because there's somebody else out there in the world that needs hope, and you're the one that's giving hope to a very lost generation, for real. That's how I feel.
So I would tell you, yeah, it's great. Combination of things that I see with you, Stormy, that's very interesting. One is the authentic, raw journey. The other is very aspirational. I remember you telling me something when you were at my house with your team. You said, and I'll quote you if that's okay. You said, my people need to see it. They don't just want to hear about success. They need to see people actually doing it. Living the big life, doing the stuff, breaking through. And so on one side, you're kind of, hey, look at what I came from the bottom and now I'm here. And the other side is you're pushing people hard. That's part of your brand too. Pushing people hard. Come on, bigger, faster, bolder. Let's go. Balance those two things for me.
So here's my new revelation. I have decided that I have inner balance out of boundaries. Inner balance out of boundaries. And what does that mean? That means that I embrace every personality. I embrace the girl who was just trying to make an extra $1,000 a month. And when I show up as her sometimes. I embrace the girl who have made past $1,000 a week or month and they want to make $5,000. And I also embrace the girl who's making $20,000, $50,000. And I need her to see that the more you show up, the more other people show up and rise to the occasion. Many people get to my status and they're on vacation somewhere. Yet still, I show up because if I don't show up, Anna's not going to show up. If I don't show up, Natalie's not going to show up. So I believe, and this may be a weird thing, but I believe that I am the modern day Harriet Tubman, that I am the modern day freedom fighter for my people. I believe that nobody can show the Black and Latinos how it's done like me. And I do it unapologetically. I'm not trying to be perfect, but I want you to know I got 7 millionaires being inducted into the $1 Million Hall of Fame this year. And I'm very proud because my tough love and my difference made a difference in this industry. And I want to say thank you to you because you allowed me to be me. You've never told me to change. You've never told me to tone it down. If anything, you'd be like, go for me, go. And that's the type of people that I believe we should start surrounding ourselves by, people that appreciate our different. Like, I'm not trying to be like everybody else. You know, I wear big diamonds because in my mind I'm an empress, and I'm wearing gems like an empress. And that's what I tell myself, because people try to belittle you, and if you allow them, I always tell my leaders, like, don't let nobody make you forget who you are. As long as you remember who you are, you'll keep raising the bar. That's what we're supposed to do. Remember who we are and raise the bar. And there's no stopping. There's no finish line. There's no finish line until you did.
I love it. I love it. I want to ask all of you, and I'm going to come to you next, so you ready? I want to ask you, what percentage of your network marketing income per month do you invest into your brand? Approximately. What percentage do you invest back into your brand, in building your brand, supporting your brand, and various things? What would you guess yours is, Emily? Could you guess?
5%?
5%?
5%? Yeah.
Something like that. Stormy, what percentage do you think yours would be?
I make sure that I invest 15% every month. And if I don't, I make up some way. No way do I go under 15%.
15%. Now, and you started that early. So
I started that when I was broke. At $100, I started that.
Yeah. Everybody up here is $1 million earner, you know, a couple of them $1 million a month earner. So we're talking about big investments, but guess where they started? When they were making 20 grand, and they took 10%.
Yeah.
You know, 20 grand a year, they took 10% of that, you know, a little bit every month, whatever. In a photographer, or in a videographer, or in a logo, or in, you know, some clothing, or whatever it happens to be. So just think about that. What's your percentage approximately, Alex?
I don't know the percentage, but it's probably 40, 50 grand a month back into the brand.
Yeah, okay. Percentage-wise?
Probably around 5%.
5%? How about you?
About 15%.
About 15%? Ash, how about you?
About 10%.
About 10%. All right, cool. So Amber, we were in rehearsal yesterday, and Amber says, and she's being inducted in the $1 Million Hall of Fame, so give her a big round of applause. Come on, everybody.
Thank you.
So she's being inducted later on today. She says, why did you put me on the branding group? What in the world are you doing? I said, well, I see you as a person who's intentionally putting your brand out there and consistently doing it on social media, etc., in order to be able to attract your tribe. That's what I'm seeing. So tell us what you decided to do with that and what kind of difference it made.
Yeah, so I decided to differentiate from my company so that I could attract a higher level of prospect that was more in line with who I am. And, you know, when I first started network marketing, you know, for me, it was all about my story, and I just wanted to be able to attract more people that were in line with that. And also, like, for me, it was about triggering emotion, positive emotions in people. And, you know, when they see the brand, they really feel something, and they know, and they've arrived, and they, you know, that was
Yeah. So and how long have you been kind of consciously? Because when I look at it, I could go look at any of you people in how you're showing up on the screen or how you're showing up on social, and I can tell just like that if it's intentional or not. When did you decide to make this intentional?
Not that long, actually. Probably around a year.
About a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and you're in the $1 Million Hall of Fame now. About what were you earning a year ago?
About 50,000 a month.
50,000 a month. So that kind of doubled over the course of the last 12 months.
Tripled.
Tripled. All right, congratulations. Yeah. So in the triple, how much of the triple do you think you could contribute to an on-purpose focused brand decision? How much of that was attracted? How much of your growth in the last 12 months do you think was because of you raising your brand?
Oh my gosh, so much of it. You know, it allows so many of my team to connect on a deeper level with me. You know, not just personally, but the team brand as well has been huge for us. You know, it's allowed us to scale hugely and really make people feel a part of something, which has just allowed us to grow so much faster. And that's huge.
And also, how much personal recruiting? How much personal recruiting were you able to do because of the branding stuff?
Yeah, I mean,
it becomes kind of effortless.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? All of you can recruit any day you feel like it.
Yeah.
And whenever you feel. should I go sign up 20 people today? I could. I mean, let me just, or I'll just go jump in. I'll go sign up some people because the brand created that.
Recruit
And that's
people.
true for everybody, right? So let me ask you this. I'll switch over to Ashton. Talk about what you've decided to do with your brand and what difference it made in your business, because you're wildly successful as well.
Yeah, no, when I got started, I was doing everything myself. I made a decision to bring people on board to help me in different areas that I was weak in. And that's made a big difference in my business. But when I got started initially, I didn't make it about myself. I was trying to help as many people within my organization to help them get their brand out, help them get their face out there so more people will actually see them out there, which will actually help us build a business in the long run. But now it's more focused on helping me take my presence to a next level.
So, an interesting thing, because when you build a brand, it shouldn't all just be about you, where you're taking all the oxygen out of the room. You should build a brand that's inclusive of other leaders, that's helpful with their egos, because if you build a brand that excludes a potential great leader, they'll find their way out of your organization because they're going to need to have their own sunlight, right? Alex, you've had the same kind of situation. You have incredible, unbelievable top leaders in the top ranks within the company that you represent. How did your brand, when I think of your brand, it's tight. It's just tight. Everything's tight, it's sharp, it's good, it's clean, it's great content, right? Looks great, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. But also, it doesn't exclude any of your leaders. So how did you pull that off?
You include them. I learned early on, my first company, when you make it all about yourself, I learned that people don't want to follow an egomaniac, me show. It's obviously the we show, right? And when you make the switch from me to we, not only will you turn your yearly income into your monthly income, but you feel better about yourself. So with the brand,
We is part of the brand.
we is part of the brand.
Yeah.
When you got the highest paid,
What we're gonna do. Here's what
Yeah.
we're going to accomplish.
Right.
It's not like look at me.
yeah.
And part of it is look at me for inspiration, because I'm one of the things that I know is part of your brand is you work your ass off. You're on the road. You are
Up until
are
COVID
pounding.
lockdown, it was a plane every 2 days.
I know, and
Yeah.
you pivoted. You adapted quickly, and you pivoted to using technology in order to be able to reach people as quick as possible. But I see you're still back out there as best you can, doing the stuff you need. That's part of the brand too, is an example. Many of you, a big piece of your brand, I know, because that's why you're on this panel, is the example. Every day. It's like how you present yourself is a living, breathing documentary. Watch me.
Yep.
Don't just listen to me. Watch me. Watch what I'm doing, right? The amount of people you've all recruited as a part of that process is just outrageous, crazy. Stormy's recruited, I don't know, 6,000 people or something, some outrageous number. You guys have all recruited huge amounts of people in doing that, but the work ethic. How did you figure out a way to? You said include them, make it about we, but still, being the big dog.
We don't get a partnership. The top, Yvonne, David, and myself, it's a partnership.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all look different and we're all at the same, pretty much level. So
Right.
it's always a we thing.
But
That's why it's worked for so long.
But how about like the second level, and the third level, and fourth level? Are
They're
you
next
mentoring them?
Next up. We help them get going. People
Yeah.
reach out to me, hey, at what income should I hire a videographer? At what income should I maybe make a logo? I saw you on Grant's show in 2014. How did that happen, right? So I think as, top leaders, we got to give people the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
And help them rise and become bigger than us, right? You start in the back of the room. You want to get to the front of the room.
Right.
And somebody told me a long time ago, you want to get back to the back of the room, and your whole group is in the front on stage, and you're just in the back.
I kind of agree. And I kind of don't.
Okay.
And I'll just give you my 2 cents,
Yeah.
because it sounds good. Fight to get to the front of the room and then get to the back of the room.
But you still got to be in the front.
Yes. I still think no matter how many leaders you have on the team, they still need you.
Yeah.
They still need to see you. They still need to hear you. Some people think, well, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to sit in the back seat. I'm going to go away and they don't need me, and I don't ever need to speak, and they don't need to hear my vision or any of that stuff.
No.
I think that's a mistake.
It is.
Some people want to, I'm just going to be a ghost. I'm going to be a legend. I'm going to be, unreachable, and nobody's going to know my name. I want nobody to know my name in 5 years, and I'm making all this money. I think it's a huge mistake,
Yeah.
personally. I think the team needs you. You'll always be needed on some level, but you don't need to take all the oxygen from the top leaders as you're building your brand. I think it's great. So Natalie, you're a surprise. I didn't know you were coming out, but I'm glad that you're here. What's some of the big things that you've learned in building your brand? Because you're working with Stormy.
Yes.
She's bigger than life. How do you build your brand in the middle of that hurricane? How do you have your own identity there?
Well, first, thank you so much for allowing me to be here. And thank you so much, Coach, for allowing me to be your partner, right? As you said, when I joined the business, Coach Stormy was already a big deal, right? And I think it takes confidence in knowing who you are as a person to be able to align yourself with someone with so much energy, right? And to really believe that you can make it as well. So for 4 years, I've been in the industry for 6 years. It's my first company. And for 4 years, I already was an entrepreneur. I had my salon. And I was really just working on myself. And I was okay with just being a six-figure earner, right? The shift that really changed my business is when I looked up and I realized I was just doing barely enough, right? And I was so consumed with the brand of Natalie, but I shift the brand of Natalie and how I can impact people's lives. One thing I noticed about Coach Stormy was that although she's big, she's a lot of energy, she always wants to see the people win. So what I did was I had to make a big decision. I put my nonprofit to the side. And when I say to the side, it no longer was my priority anymore, right? I put my traditional business I have a storefront now in Houston, Texas, in the Galleria Mall. That is my third priority. And my network marketing business is my first priority because as a big brand, my people are watching me. So I just led by example. I lead by example. I'm very consistent. And I show that you can still be yourself and you can still co-brand with big energy and you can still lead your people on your own, terms.
Right. So here's what I'd like you all to do. I'd like you all to take 2 or 3 minutes, and there's a bunch of people watching this right now saying this does not apply to me. This doesn't apply to me. I'm making $500 a month. What difference does the brand make for me? There's phase 1, 0 to 100,000. They're like, what do I need a brand for? Or I don't know if I even like my brand or whatever. There's 100,000 to $1 million. Then there's $1 million plus, 3 different phases, and people in all those different phases here. What advice do you have for them on a practical level? Why should they do it, and what should they do in order to be able to build and strengthen their brand? Ashton, we'll start with you.
First of all, you just got to find a way to stand out because, you're in business with other people, right? People are going to see you before they actually see your company. How are you going to present yourself? Well, how are you going to inspire people? How are you going to educate people? You have to find a way to stand out. Be educating people on your products, educate people on different aspects of your business or entrepreneurship. That's the approach that I took, educating people on financial industry. And that worked really well because so many people just weren't aware, right? Wasn't trying to sell people, I was just giving information. On the back end, people reached out to find more how they can actually apply some of the things that we actually thought, right? You have to find a way to your appearance. How do you show up? You always have to ask yourself, are you going to do business with yourself based on how you show up? A lot of people want to become big brands, or they don't think that they can become a big brand, but it starts with the little things. Just get started. You don't have to go hire somebody else $1,000 to get pictures, but get some nicer pictures. You can take quality
You find
pictures.
a friend that's a photographer. Just
Absolutely.
take a bunch of pictures until you find something great.
In the beginning, it's going to be messy. Start making short videos, 2-3 minute videos, just explaining something or inspiring people. It doesn't always have to be about sell. Just uplift somebody else. Just think about the people that's in your position right now that wants to change their life, right? Inspire somebody to go out there and do what it is that they need to take care of themselves and their family. You got to start with the end in mind. It's not just about what you're currently going through right now. It's about where you want to go. For a lot of people, they're trying to compare themselves to other people. They have to find a way to be authentically you and build from that.
Yeah, like I copied some of the things from Jim Rohn's brand. And anybody who knew Jim Rohn would see some of the things that I copied from him. Like some of the things I'm inspired by Tony, but I'm not going to be that. He intimidates me a little bit, even as in person. He's the same person on sitting on a couch next to you as he is on stage, and it's just like, whoa. He took the person on stage. He took that person home. I mean, I tried to do that. My battery's just like, an iPhone 3. It just goes like to zero so fast by trying to have that type of energy. So I had to find my own little mode in order to be able to do it. Anyway, Natalie, what advice do you have for people practically? Where do they start? What's one of the first things they should do?
Well, the first thing I would say is your vibe will attract your tribe, right? So for me, I don't want to be the girl that's trying to master Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, and Instagram. On social media, I choose Instagram right now. I'm not saying you can't do everything, but you have to find a playground and you have to be consistent.
You're crushing
okay?
on
Thank you.
Yeah.
My social media attracted over 2,000.
How many followers do you have on Instagram?
About like 264,000 followers.
264,000? What do you have, Ashley?
1 million.
1 million? Emily?
I think 500,000.
500,000? Alan?
Million.
1 million?
9,000.
9,000? Ah, come on. Stormy, how many good followers you got on Instagram?
Over 1.2 million.
1.2 million. I mean, all of this is as a result of the brand and being consistent, right?
Yes.
So just pick a platform and be consistent.
Yes.
That's your advice. Emily, what's your advice?
Stop being so boring. Okay, I see people out there and it's like you copy and paste quotes. I don't even know you. I go to your page and I'm like, boring. It's like a snooze fest. Okay, don't take offense. This is coaching. What I would do, go to Amazon and get a little stick. They have those little iPhone sticks. And when you're working, since you all work your business, capture those moments. Even if you're riding solo in your house, if you're on a coaching call, turn on the camera, get a 1-minute soundbite, upload it to your Instagram stories, upload it to a reel. So when you're working, there should be many moments throughout the day where you can capture content if you're actually doing the work, okay? So if your company's like, hey, we launched a new product, we want you to do in-homes, or I don't know, they have an event they want you to promote to, you need to show that you're doing that. Okay, there was a moment where we started doing in-home again, getting that intimate connection, and I'm like, I don't need to do a freaking in-home, okay? But I'm doing them, and I'm showing people I'm doing them, and we're spicing it up and making it great, and we're showing the culture and the community, which everyone is looking for, the culture and community. So I would showcase throughout the day, and again, maybe, the other day I was doing an interview, and I had a nice blazer on, but I had sweatpants on the bottom. And then some great shoes. And I just showed them this is real life. So show them real life. So many of you are so amazing. You're raising babies. You're working full-time jobs. You're getting home and working your network marketing business from 8 to 10. Freaking show that. Show that you're working your side hustle. So have a mixture of it. So again, go on Amazon, get the little iPhone thing, showcase everything. If you sell products, be a product of the product. If you sell services, showcase that, showcase testimonies. And if you're like, I still don't know what to do, I would just map out the week and have a theme for every day. Transformation Tuesday, Wellness Wednesday, Freedom Friday, and then post that.
Mm-hmm. And I would also tell you, copy what other people are doing. If you struggle with creativity, raise your hands if you struggle trying to think about a good idea. If you struggle with creativity, just go look at what's trending on TikTok. Go look at the people you admire on Instagram. See what they're doing. Like Alex does a post that he does on Instagram, I think every day, that says, I'm going to do this thing in 3 minutes. Yeah. In 3 minutes, there's going to be this, and it's a cool picture of Alex, and it's and 3 minutes later, whoever posts something, gets some little prize or whatever. But it's one of the things he does consistent. Is it every day?
Yeah, we were given a couple bucks here and there. We took the money away, but every day we post live in 3 minutes, a new post.
I'm going to be live in 3 minutes, or there's going to be a post in 3 minutes. and he's trained his community that this is part of what it is that they do. So just watch what somebody does. Maybe you do something like he did, and you do your version of it. Or if somebody talks about a topic that's a good topic, take your take on it. Or put them next to you talking about it, and you just react to them talking about it. Or however you want to do it. But Alex, what advice do you have for people? Where do they start?
Well, they got to start. You know, every journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. And you know, I was posting videos on Facebook in 2011, and my mom would like it, my dad would like it, my sister would comment, and that was it. You know, now fast forward 2021, a lot has obviously changed. But if you're watching this, whether you're making $500 a month or $5,000 a day, you got to start. You got to be authentic. You got to really put the people first and just be consistent. I think it's the biggest thing in this business is people have got to learn to post every day. You know, maybe take one day off, right? But at least 6 days a week, you got to be giving value. You got to be authentic. And like you said, take from other people. You know,
and let me jump in for just 1 second.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of this is about social. But I promise you, all these people, the way they show up in real life is also on purpose. It might not be as fancy as this, but it's as on purpose as this. I mean, it is intentional. Those sweatpants are intentional.
Oh, yeah.
Those sneakers are intentional. You know what I mean? Even if they're getting their hair done or whatever, that's intentional. It's all intentional. So it's not, I want you to know, I want you to show up in the world intentionally, not just on social. When you go to the grocery store, people say, who is that? When you go to the mall, people should say, who are you? And what do you do?
Yep. It's got to transition from
Yes.
the digital world into the physical. And then everyone's got to understand that we're living in the best time ever, opportunity-wise, to build a brand and capitalize on the digital era.
This is literally, there's beachfront property. Every one of you, it would sound egotistical to talk about 10 years ago, that all of you could be a profitable brand. But you all can in our profession. Your brand should make you money. Your brand should bring you recruits. Your brand should cause your team to take more action. And that's our job as a leader, is to cause our team to take more action. So Amber, what advice do you have for people?
So first thing I would say is you have to have clarity on what your brand is and who you are, and make a step to actually just brain dump everything out onto a piece of paper. You know, when I first started, I used to find this so overwhelming. I was like, am I the mom? Am I the young girl? Who am I? Like, who am I talking to? Really figure out who you want to be known as. What do you want to be known for? And it's going to make it a lot easier to show up. I would say that for start. Then have certainty within that. You know, it's so important people feel that from you. It's incredibly important, and you have to master this by practicing. And it's going to be messy. It always is. Like, I'm still messy now.
You're gonna screw it up.
Still growing, still moving forward, but taking the first step. Don't focus on the full staircase. Just focus on the first step, and consistency. Of course, you know, it's so. Everybody says it, but it's so important. If you're not consistent, you may as well start again at the start every time.
Yeah, and it's like some of you might need to really simplify because you don't have the money to look fancy. You know, a lot of these people have a lot of money, so they can look really fancy, spend a lot of money on their clothes and stuff. But like Dee Graziosi as an example, he wears a T-shirt every day.
Same one.
Same T-shirt. Good Life T-shirts. He loves those T-shirts. But he wears, that's all, and it's like Steve Jobs used to wear the black whatever top and jeans or whatever. That was what he wore. That was his uniform, so you didn't have to think about it. Some of you, maybe your look will be that same consistent, basic look that doesn't have to cost a lot of money, but is still intentional. You know, maybe it's a look with a different hat because you like wearing hats, or maybe it's a certain color that you're going to be known for the color. Just don't get hung up on, I can't do this because I don't have a lot of money. Just start. So Stormy, what advice do you have for people as they're going to go out there and build their brand and expand their influence in network marketing?
Well, the first thing I would say is that I remember when I had 3 pair of pants from Old Navy, a black pair, a gray pair, and a brown pair, and I wore them every day, and I made it feel like a uniform when I was broke. But going back to what I'm hearing every panelist say, and salute to the panelists, It's the consistency. But I also want to tell you guys a little trick that I've learned throughout the years from my celebrity entertainer friends. And write this down. It's the double A. Every woman has to aspire to be like you, ladies. Whether it's the housekeeper or the stay-at-home mom. Every woman needs to aspire to be like you if you are a lady. And as a lady, every man should admire you to see a wife in you, someone who you want his wife or someone that he can look at as a mother figure. And so that's something that I've used, my little secret sauce, aspire and admire. And then every day I show up. Live your life as if your Instagram page is teaching people how to live their life. I repeat, live your life as if whatever social media platform you choose to tap into is teaching people how to live their life. I wake up, I show people what I do from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed, to the point where when I don't show up, people want to know, where are you? What's going on? And I didn't really try to do that. I just learned from one of my favorite mentors that consistency is the key to success. And so I'm always consistent. And I'll give you a nice caveat. It's called HEAM. Every time you post, if you're looking for a way to post, what should I post? Number one, think about your audience. Stop trying to win people over that's not your audience. There are some people that's never going to like you. They're not going to like where you come from. They're not going to like how you talk, how you dress. They're just not going to like you. And there's nothing that you can do about those people. But once you identify with the people that like you, they like you. You got to think about these four things. The H is humility. Am I being humble with this post? Remember, humility is the key that unlocks the door to abundance. And so every day, no matter how much money I make, no matter how big storm is in life, I'm always remembering where I came from and remaining humble. The E is educate. Every day we should be educating the masses, and don't educate them from where you are right here. Educate them from where you were. So every post I'm asking myself, is this educating the masses? The second E in HEAM is entertaining. I've learned not to be so serious. Like, live life. Like, let them see you laugh. Let them see you fall. Let them see you cry, Entertain them. Because this is really kind of like show business. And then the M is motivate. And so every post is humility, educate, entertain, motivate. And remember, give people a reason to aspire and to admire to be the woman or the man that you are. And I believe that that is some of my secret sauce, and remaining consistent through it all and showing up every day as if my social media page is teaching somebody else how to live.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, listen, let me tell you what I'd like to do. This panel's been amazing, and we talked about this quite a bit. But I want everybody at home, we're going to send you to a breakout again. But before I do that, I want to thank Ashton, Natalie, Emily, Alex, Amber, and Stormy. Give them all a big round of applause for their contribution. You're all amazing.
I hope you guys got some value out of that.